Hey, good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody, man. Just so happy to be back before you guys again today and happy for another episode of the Conversation 9 8. We're on episode 178. We had 178 episodes and still going strong. Very happy for that and just happy to be back before you guys, man. I look forward to this, look forward to the conversations, and I'm just grateful that we've been able to continue this. Um, Not only continue this, but I'm just grateful for just every week, and there's something new or something to talk about, and discussing it in a way, uh, discussing it in a way where it's the feedback has been helpful. So that's what I'm happy about. That's what I look forward to every week, and uh, I'm I'm more than ecstatic and excited about all of the things that come from this. So I'm sharing this with a few people. Make sure you guys share this. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And I look forward to the conversation tonight. But one thing I also look forward to is I'm just grateful for the opportunities to just be before you all each day. And I don't take it lightly. Uh, but tonight episode, I think is going to be, and also let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know where you're tuning in from. That means a lot. And it's interactive. So if you guys want to jump in, if you guys want to comment, man, do that. Feel free to do that. You guys are more than willing to welcome to do so. Tonight episode, I think it's going to be a special one because I think the topic is something that that is not talked about a lot, and I think it needed to be talked about. And that's one of the reasons why I personally uh, did it. It's one of the reasons why I personally picked it to talk about. Um, and because I feel like it's a very sensitive topic that a lot of people deal with or have dealt with, and it's impacted a lot of people. It's impacted a lot of people. And one of the reasons why I want to talk about it is because I feel like it's a necessary conversation to have. But one thing is we want to talk about tonight is it can be hard for someone to accept love from others who doesn't feel worthy. And I say that because a lot of people do not feel worthy to receive the type of love that they get from people, to receive the attention, to receive the affection, to receive the consistency from somebody, especially in relationships. And that can come from a lot of different reasons. A lot of us have insecurities that come from a lot of trauma, comes from something that happened, and probably a product of something somebody said to us when we was a child, or something somebody was that didn't do, and that there was a gap there. But then we connect ourselves with people, and it's hard for some people to accept love because they don't feel like they are worthy of it. And one of the things, the reason why they don't feel like they're worthy of it, because to them internally, silently, they never feel like they're good enough, and they feel like it's too good to be true. They will feel like it's too good to be true. And one of the things why is it like it's too good to be true is because in their mind, they feel like since I'm not worthy, then I'm not deserving of it. So eventually it's not going to hold out. How you doing, Miss Robinson? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you so much for tuning in. But that's the truth. And one of the things about it is I want people to understand, you know, people will feel like they are not worthy. And because some people feel like that they are not worthy of receiving something, they feel like it's something that's too good for them. In their mind, as a way to protect themselves, what they end up doing is they end up convincing themselves that, hey, it's not good enough, or eventually it's going to get taken away from me. So they try to mentally and emotionally protect themselves by always thinking or always trying to manifest something or sabotage it because they don't feel like they deserve it. They don't feel like they deserve to be loved in that way. So it's too good to be true. So it's got to be something. Oh, eventually they're going to leave me because this is just too good to be true. No, they just want to be with you. And you may be struggling with the fact that you struggle with feeling worthy enough of receiving it from them. And many of them end up self-sabotaging and sabotaging or maybe even destroying a relationship, all because they did not feel worthy enough to receive it. And that happens more than a lot of people want to talk about. It happens more than a lot of people want to discuss. It happens way more than a lot of people want to acknowledge. It does. I mean, it really does. And the sad part is, it takes us to get to a place to where we are willing to not only acknowledge it, but also address what is causing that insecurity. And, feeling unworthy is really rooted in insecurity, being insecure. And that's one of the things that it's a lot of people deal with that. And one of the things with that, many people don't like to have it be known that they are insecure in a certain area. And that feeling of vulnerability, what causes a lot of people to be able to, that's a barrier to a lot of people being able to accept love or accept things from other people. Because in their mind, they feel like there's an agenda. That insecurity would make people feel like the other person has an agenda for why they're doing what they're doing. So there's a struggle for them internally. It's a struggle for them to receive it because they don't feel like I'm worthy enough to receive that from you. And the reason why they don't feel like they're worthy enough is because it can be rooted into a number of things. And most of it is tied to a traumatic experience that they had in their life and something that they need to work towards overcoming. They have to work towards overcoming it. And, it is what it is. And the reason why I say it is what it is not saying it to be insensitive. But, one thing about it, it takes some work. And it takes some work from a lot of different things. And one thing is, as people, we are complex. All of us are complex. We're not just as simple. It's not just a simple thing. We all have different experiences. We all have different life experience. We all have different things that happen to us. We've all dealt with certain things, and many of us, we react to similar things, or we react to things differently. With that being said, many people struggle with not feeling worthy. That has nothing to do with the other person loving them. That's something internally that they have to deal with and address. And the reason why they have to deal with and address it is because that impacts how they view and see the world. And that impacts not only how they view and see the world, it impacts how they react to the world and how they receive from the world. And that impacts how a lot of them receive love, because many of them that don't feel worthy, they feel like they're not worthy of receiving love. They feel like they're not worthy. And it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what is done. You can be as consistent, but in their mind, they're going to feel like that they don't deserve it. And one of the things a lot of people don't like to talk about, but it is true. When a person doesn't feel like that they are worthy of receiving love, many times what they do is they create this environment, particularly in relationships, that nothing is ever good enough. And the reason why they do that and they portray it like nothing is ever good enough is because that's a coping mechanism for them. That's a coping mechanism that they put up in their way to where if nothing is ever good enough, then I'm not setting myself up, because my vulnerabilities and my insecurities make me feel like I'm not worthy of receiving it. So if I act like it's not good enough, then that's a way to keep me in a way of trying to protect myself. But what they don't realize is they end up destroying or eroding the relationship with the people that are genuinely there for them, And true love, genuine love, nobody is really worthy of it. So that's the biggest oxymoron that I see. Nobody is ever worthy of it, but we receive it. When we say that, even when I'm talking about faith, nobody is worthy of the grace and the mercy that God gives us. Nobody is worthy. We all are not worthy. So the acceptance of genuine love, the acceptance of things for somebody genuinely being there from us, it's a struggle for many of us, because we will never feel like that you're worthy. And if we just be honest about it, if we really be honest, you would never feel worthy of receiving something that's genuine and authentic from other people, because we understand how we are. We all recognize that we are flawed. We all recognize that we make mistakes. We all recognize that we disappoint people. When we look at an internal mirror to our own souls, we recognize our shortfalls and our flaws. And with that, it's hard for us to receive love from some people, because we think in our own thinking, we view it from the lens of how we know ourselves to be. But some people, and then love is a powerful thing. Love makes you give of yourself. It transcends yourself. And when we are truly experiencing love, it's hard for many to receive it because we feel, and it's a lot of us feel like we aren't worthy of it. And just because you may feel like you're unworthy of it, that doesn't mean that you aren't worthy of receiving it. And that's what many of us struggle with. Many of us struggle with that day to day. That's a day-to-day struggle that many of us struggle with. And the sad truth is a lot of people don't want to talk about it, but this is 100% what it is. There are people that have been married and connected with people in long-term relationships. I'm talking about 10, 15, 20 years that still struggle to receive the love of that person because they never felt good enough. They are attracted to the person. They know that person really cares for them, but in the back of their mind, they're still struggling with the thought of why it's too good to be true. Why do they want me? Why do they want me in all my flaws? Why do they desire to be with me when I'm so messed up? I'm not deserving of this. So it's hard for them to receive what they're giving them. And a lot of times what people really need to understand is it's not the fact that you're deserving. A lot of times it's a blessing. God will put those people in your life that have the heart and have the love for you to help you overcome the things that you had. But you have to be open to receiving it. And you have to be open to deal with yourself, to deal with why you don't feel worthy. You have to be open to that. And that's something that you have to deal with. That's something that you have to work on. And I know it's hard. I know I'm saying that that's something that's going to be easy or something that's easy to come to, but I just wanted to have that conversation and talk about it tonight. And the reason why I wanted to have that conversation and talk about it is because there's a lot of people that don't feel worthy. They don't feel worthy, and it can come, especially it comes from so many different things. And it's things of, one thing, it's a big thing, but not feeling worthy can lead you down a dangerous path. Not feeling worthy of receiving love can lead you down a dangerous path. It can lead you down a path of not only loneliness, but it can lead you down a path of you being manipulated, you being used, because you are seeking anything that seems like it, right? Seems like it's good. And what happens is many times we find ourselves in situations where other people will just use you, and then now you become bitter towards the actual real love that may be a blessing coming into your life. And you have people that's actually there for you, consistently there for you. They're there for you. They're there to lift you up. They're there to be in your corner, but you still have that. You're still that same little girl, little boy that's on the inside that's struggling with receiving it and accepting it because you don't feel worthy. But we have to get to a place where we got to start addressing why we don't feel worthy and address that so that we can overcome that. One thing, I share this and my mom shared it with me, but my mom told me, she said that she was married to my dad for 20 years before she really fully accepted the love that my dad had and accepted him fully and submitted under his love and his leadership. And not that she didn't love him, but she had to deal with some things that was internal to her, some internal things with her. And she said when she finally did that, they were able to do more in the last 9-10 years that they were married than what they until my father passed and what they was able to do in the first 20 plus years. And it was getting to a space where she had to work out why she didn't feel worthy to receive it. My dad loved me. When I said my dad loved my mama, it was Jesus Christ. He loved my mom. And I appreciate the being able to experience that and seeing that. But it was something that my mom had to work on. It was nothing on my dad's part. My dad did his part, but it took my mom years to get there. And when she got there, she realized that's where her breakthrough was. That's where her breakthrough was. And she said she enjoyed it every single day. So that's why I say it can be hard for someone. It can be hard with someone to accept love from others, when they don't feel worthy. And one thing about it is, and I know there's a lot of people that struggle, but it's the God honest truth. When you don't feel worthy, you not feeling worthy is not somebody else's responsibility to make you feel worthy. that's something that you have to get the courage enough to start identifying and to be able to address it so you can get to the root cause of why you're not feeling worthy. Because no matter how much other people do for you, they can never not make you feel worthy. That's something that you have to work on yourself. Even if they're consistent, even if they're doing those things for you, even if they're there for you and they have, been beyond consistent, it's still a struggle for you on the inside. Still can be a struggle for you on the inside if you never work towards that. That's why it's so important for you to work towards that so that you can overcome that and you can start dealing with why you feel unworthy. You know, and and the one thing about it, people don't like to talk about it, but it is what it is. It is what it is. But you know, one thing about it, you feeling unworthy can be rooted in a lot of things. It can be rooted in the distrust or eroded relationships that was growing up. It can be from a lot of different things. It can be from most of the time it's from traumatic things. It's from being disappointed, being neglected, being let down, not being affirmed. It can come from a lot of different sources. And many of us, we grow up and we just try to act like, hey, I'm good. I made it through. I'm good. But we don't realize how that impacts how we interact with or how we interact and with people in relationships, or how it interacts our ability to receive and accept love from others. And the sad thing is, most of us that don't feel worthy, we spend a lot of time trying to pour into others because we overcompensate because we want the other people to feel what we don't feel. But it's and on the other side of that, it's hard for us to receive and accept the very thing that we try to give the others from our pain. And that's something that we have to work on. That's something that we have to work on. That's something that's our personal responsibility. And that's something that I pray that if you struggle with this, you can overcome it and work towards a solution for you to feel worthy and accept the fact that you are deserving. So I pray you guys have a great and wonderful week. I appreciate you guys rocking with your boy. I look forward to the next week, and you guys have a safe and wonderful weekend. God bless.